there are in predominantly African-American areas, it's not due to zoning. That's
it's not due to zoning.
Right.
And, so that's a fair housing, by the way. So, people should not discriminate, based on race. Fair Housing Act's clear, it's right, but the difference is this doesn't do that. This effectively says we're going to discriminate based on race because we're going to determine we don't like your racial makeup from Washington, and we're going to attempt to change that by monkeying around with your local laws.
Essentially, it is the zoning version of busing back from the 1970s, right? Busing for immigration.
Exactly what it is.
That's essentially what they were going to do. Okay. All right. So that's good news. That's good news. That has been that's going to be deep six. I'm glad to hear that. On the debit side, or the negative side of things, my email box started getting blown up late yesterday afternoon. People telling me that the Trump administration is about to put drug price controls. And the last time I heard about drug price controls or price controls of any time, I was a kid, and Richard Nixon was doing that. I remember, maybe that was Jerry Ford with whip inflation now. I forget exactly what it was.
Whip inflation. Now, Richard Nixon did the price controls.
Yeah, Richard Nixon did the price controls.
Had the win button.
Yeah, the win.
There is a rumor that's being floated around Washington, D.C., that the Trump White House is considering an executive order which would impose price controls on drug prices. The way it would work is they take there are 4 European countries they would model. They would take the average price of those 4 European countries for various drugs, and that's the price that would be allowed to be charged in America. While that sounds like it would lower drug prices, what it actually would do is it would, pave the way along with the one-size-fits-all rate setting across the nation under the guise of surprise medical billing. It'd pave the way for socialized medicine. It would make socialized medicine a reality. Secondly, and this is, if you want to kill new drugs, you want to kill new treatments, you want to kill any experimentation at all in terms of being able to bring drugs to market, you do this. Because it is inconceivable that a company would go and push forward with a new drug knowing full well that it's going to cost them about $2.6 billion to bring a drug to market. That's what the average cost is, according to us. $2.6 billion to bring a drug to market. And then to have your prices controlled by socialist countries in Europe because they're using drugs like they're generics as opposed to actually inventing them and creating new drugs. You want to end all cancer innovation? Do this. You want to end Alzheimer's innovation? Do this. This is the stupidest thing you could possibly do. And I have relayed that to the White House both verbally and in writing.
Okay. And yet, I understand what drives this. I really do. I mean, I was telling you about how a relative of mine is getting a treatment right now, $45,000 a treatment. And It's like, whoa.
No, it's exactly right. It's certainly understandable why people freak out about prices. And but let me be clear.
Who lobby? Well, let's be honest, though, Rick, and this is the other side of it, though. Who lobbies Congress more than Big Pharma?
Well, Big Pharma, but let me give you the answer to it, since this is a problem without an answer right now.
Yeah, I know.
The answer is the FDA gets in the way. And the reason it costs $2.6 billion to bring a drug to market is because the FDA, it puts so many blockades, so many things in the way of bringing a drug to market that only big companies can do it. So the big pharma actually doesn't mind it costing $2.6 billion to bring a drug to market because that freezes out the small innovators. And the small innovators then have to sell their product to big pharma, and essentially big pharma then brings it and makes the money. But what we need to get the FDA under control. 10 years ago, I guess 12 years ago, the average cost was $800 million, and that was too much. Today it's $2.6 billion.
Yeah, it's a problem.
So that's the problem.
Yeah, so price controls price controls on the end product are probably not going to solve that problem. All right.
That's a solution. That's a solution to the symptom, not the solution to the problem.
All right. Rick, appreciate the take, and I know you're going to have some writing on that on dailytorch.com, no doubt. Explain it more. All right.
Yep.
Rick, it is always a pleasure. Thanks for the good talk, and we'll kick it around next weekend. And are you in that middle of summer rainy season in the swamp? Is it just hot and steamy, or are you getting some rain too?
Well, we've gotten a lot of big thunderstorms, but it is, let's put it this way. There's no shortage of humidity in the swamp.
Okay. Send a little of the rain our way. We wouldn't mind that. Thanks a bunch. We'll talk next Friday, okay? You be well.
Take care. Bye-bye.